If you depend on the gig economy for income, whether that is through delivering food, shopping with an app like Instacart, or rideshare driving for Uber or Lyft, that makes you a professional. And as a professional, it is your responsibility to find the tools that you need to boost your efficiency as a driver, delivery driver, shopper, whatever it may be, so that you can increase your earnings on those platforms. Today we're going to be looking at one app in particular, and that app is Gridwise. I'm going to go through all of the features that I've been testing out for the last few weeks and let you guys know what I think, if it's worth using as a delivery driver, as a shopper, and as a rideshare driver. So the app was originally tailored towards rideshare drivers, but there are a ton of new features in the app that also make it useful for delivery drivers, for shoppers, for anyone that works in the gig economy. So I'm going to run through those features and let you know, is it actually worth downloading this app and taking up the space on your Android, your iPhone, whatever device you are using to earn income. So I started testing out the app a few weeks ago. I went ahead and downloaded it in the App Store, and the process of signing up is really pretty easy. They ask you a few simple questions. You got to give some basic info, and then you let them know what gigs you work for. So for me, it was Instacart, it was DoorDash, it was Grubhub, it was those delivery apps. For you, that may be different. We're going to kind of focus on those in this video, and then I'm going to throw in a couple of other features that are also very useful for rideshare drivers, because I know I do have some of those on my channel. And at the end of the video, I'll let you know what I think, if I think this is actually worth downloading and worth using. So personally, I went with the free version of the app. There's also a paid version if you want to upgrade and get a few more features, but the free version has quite a bit to offer. Definitely could be worthwhile for some people. Let's start taking a look at those features. So one feature that is very nice is the ability to track mileage. So every time you start a shift, if you accept an offer, or if you've set some time aside in your day to start delivering food, shopping, driving, you just go ahead and hit that start button to start tracking your mileage. And the Gridwise app will automatically track that mileage and then multiply it by the standard deduction rate. So you can see right there how many vehicle-related expenses you can deduct every time you're on a shift, making deliveries, whatever it is you're doing. So for those of you that have watched my tax videos related to Grubhub, related to Amazon Flex, DoorDash, all of these apps, there's one common theme. And basically, that is the fact that the standard deduction covers every vehicle-related expense. And as a rideshare driver, as a delivery driver, that is the bulk of your expenses. That's really everything that you're going to be sending to the IRS at the end of the year. So the Gridwise app actually allows you to export this tax form, and you can really upload that to whatever service you use for taxes. A lot of people are looking at their taxes and saying, hey, I want a more all-inclusive service. Maybe they go TurboTax. Personally, I do use QuickBooks Self-Employed to do all of my taxes, but that's because I'm doing a ton of other stuff other than the gig economy. That's because I have clients that I do web design for. I have an online business in the marketing realm. So I need to be really, compiling stats on a ton of different stuff. If I were to be solely focusing on the gig economy, I would do all of my taxes here because this is free and this is really all you need. And there are a couple of other things that come into play with regard to taxes. You can usually deduct that phone bill, find a couple of other expenses that aren't vehicle related, but do you need to invest 10, 15 bucks a month for QuickBooks to figure these out? No, you need to be taking that standard deduction and then figure out the other small things later, because these are super simple to do. So there's a couple of other features that I really like on this app, and one of them is the ability to track your earnings in the app. So beyond just tracking my mileage, finding out what that deduction is for the mileage, I'm also able to input my earnings after each shift. So let's say I'm working for Grubhub, I do 3 or 4 offers, I make 65 bucks. I can easily input that data. Now I have my earnings and I have my expenses all in one place. And Gridwise takes it a step further. They have a weekly email where they take everyone in your location, in your city. So let's say you're me, you're working in Seattle. They take every Grubhub driver's information, those statistics based on their earnings, and they do a weekly summary. So you can look at how much you're earning each week, and you can kind of compare to what the group average is. And this is a particularly very useful feature because, as I've mentioned in a lot of my videos in the past, when you're working in the gig economy, you need to be multi-apping, but finding out which apps are the best to use in your area is a little bit of struggle. You kind of got to jump into it figure out for yourself unless you can find someone else that works in the gig economy to kind of, give you that inside knowledge, tell you which apps to use in your area. You're kind of at a loss here. So if you select a few apps that you like doing, you can start entering your stats, whatever those may be, and then see what other people are getting. There might be different fluctuations. Maybe Instacart's big right now because of the pandemic. Maybe there's a drop off in Lyft drivers in your area, so that platform is becoming more popular. You can see those stats and you can switch between platforms on a weekly basis and really, fine tune your earnings in that sense. And those are the two biggest features that I think are really useful to anyone in the gig economy, whether you're doing food delivery, shopping, rideshare driving. And there are some other features that are specifically tailored towards rideshare driving. I'm going to hit those really quick, and those are kind of cool. One of those is the events. And the events is really cool because it tells you exactly what events are going on in your area. And then there's a bar system, like a rating system for how much rideshare demand they expect with those events. So you'll see a couple dots next to that event and you can kind of gauge how busy it's going to be. Now there's also dots next to the day of the week. So let's say you see that Sunday is a slow day. It's not going to be a busy day. With rideshare, with Lyft, Uber, you might want to switch it up, do some food delivery, or maybe just take the day off. But you can kind of predict and forecast with this data a little bit better where your earnings are going to be and organize your schedule around that. You can also see flight schedules for your local airports. So if you do a lot of airport rides, you can know how to get in there when it's busy, but you can also see how much the wait's going to be for you getting into that airport. So maybe it's really busy, but there's a lot of people coming in to also pick people up on those flights. You'll know how long it's going to take you to get through that line to get to where you need to be to pick up those passengers. And the last feature related to this is the weather-related feature, which is really cool because we all know that rideshare demand fluctuates based on the weather. And if you've done food delivery, you might actually realize that this fluctuates a little bit too. On those rainy days, people don't want to go out to eat as much. They might just be ordering in. So you can kind of get those updates, see exactly what the weather is going to be like in your area. And it's all in one app. You might be thinking you already have a weather app, but it's nice to have all of these features all in one place and to get notifications from the same app so that you really have just a one stop to go to for everything that you need. Another thing that I noticed is that the Gridwise app also sends you notifications with updates related to the gig economy and related to rideshare, and they really do a good job of hitting on the important stuff here. So I got one about a week ago. It was for a partnership that Gridwise had with a COVID-19 testing platform that was giving out free tests, and that's really cool because that's something that we all need to be checking in on and monitoring our health during these times. And they also, they hit on really just about everything related to the gig economy. So, different unemployment benefits, what you can do to get those. Let's say your earnings have dropped and you're only doing rideshare. You need to learn a little bit more about how to access that. You're getting updates on how to do this. So at the beginning of the video, I let you guys know that I was going to give you my opinion at the end of the video. Do I think this app is worth downloading? And after using this app for a few weeks, the answer to that is yes. I absolutely recommend downloading the free version. If you like it and you want to upgrade, you can do that. But the free version in and of itself is going to give you a lot of the features that you need. And it's a lot of things all in one place. It's one of these tools that I absolutely recommend using in the gig economy and in rideshare. And there's very few that I will actually endorse. There's very few apps out there that do a good job of this and that are constantly improving their app and adding features. Gridwise has kind of shown me in these few weeks that they're continuing to push forward. They love feedback, they love feature requests, and they're going to continue to add new stuff down the road. So if you take this seriously, if you are a professional and you rely on these earnings, you want to increase these earnings, you should be downloading this app. This is an app for professionals. This is not an app for people that are playing games, that aren't taking this seriously, that just want to sit on the bench and watch other people earn more money than them. I actually think Gridwise is really a cool product here, and I really don't say that about a ton of other apps. So make sure to check it out. There's not a whole lot you can lose with using the app for free. They will show you the occasional ad every now and then if you're on the free version, but honestly, after using it for a few weeks, I didn't really notice these ads all that much. They weren't distracting, they weren't getting in my way, which is a nice thing because we've all had those apps where the ads are just popping up nonstop and you can barely even use the app. That is not the case with Gridwise. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, make sure to hit that like button so it can get out to more people who want to be using this app and increasing their earnings. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel Gig Nation, and if you're looking for another gig economy job, make sure to check out gigsharks.com.